Hey guys, so I thought I'd make a quick video about my Dreamtime and Astral experiences with the Secret Space program. So, this all started for me back in around, I don't know when, several years ago. I started having time interaction. I started having a lot of dreams about strange objects flying around my house and seeing like such strange aircraft and all these weird shaped objects in the sky. And these dreams seem very vivid and so very real and like another dimension of reality. And what started happening, the first vivid experience I recall, was there was this guy that was flying this top secret aircraft, and he landed it out in the fens near where I used to live, in the fields near a ditch. I remember he landed it near a ditch, and I remember we had like this deep conversation, and this dream felt very real, more real than a normal dream, and as all these dreams do. And what began to happen from here was that a few years later, like 2 years ago, but I think it was about 2 years ago, I started connecting with this guy in astral experiences, and I connected with he was like part of the secret space program, or what I was calling at the time the fourth density negative team, alliance, whatever, because they were beings that had evolved to a highly telepathic level of communication, but through the war path, through the negative path. And of course in the dream I didn't really see him as negative, because in dream it's like non-duality. There is no dark and light, it's just what's happening. So I didn't really experience it as negative in the dream, perhaps more so in astral, but still not, because in 5D that it's non-dual. There really is no polarity. It's harder to distinguish between the dark and the light, because it's just what's happening. It's all expressions of God. So to try and cut a very long story short, I started communicating with this guy in astral that I'd had dreams with in the past, and he actually worked on a military base near me, and like not far from here. And whenever I start talking about this, like planes and helicopters and all sorts start flying around, so it's almost like this is merging. For me, these realities are becoming one. The idea of the dream and the astral and the waking state, the lines are becoming blurry. It's feeling more real every day, and the reality feels more dreamlike every day. So this guy was in the astral communications. This guy was referred to as Delta Wing. And what happens to me in these astral connections with this fourth density? One second, I'm just going to check this is recording. Yeah, it's recording. So I'm doing it on my phone, on the back of my phone. So in fourth density negative astral experiences with these beings, how it works for me is that when I connect into one person, like this, for what the guy will refer to as Delta Wing, because this is how I know him, that flies like this Delta Wing craft, this like secret space program plane. It's like a plane disguised as a plane, but it's more like it's got like anti-gravity and stuff, I sense. And so this guy's called Delta Wing because he's a triangle shaped craft. And what happens when I connect to him is that, for me, the experience is, and I presume this is a sort of, it happens to a lot of people, when we connect in with one level on the fourth density negative secret space program, as I'll call them, because I don't know what's going on really, you connect to their boss. So as soon as I started telepathically connecting with Delta Wing in astral, his boss can hear that I'm connecting with him, his hierarchy up on the fourth density negative ladder, which was like his boss in the military in this case. So as soon as I start connecting with Delta Wing, and I hear these things going like, Delta Wing, prepare for takeoff, and I can hear the voices of his boss and all things like this. And as soon as I start connecting with Delta Wing, his boss pokes in and says, Delta Wing, what the hell are you doing speaking to this guy? And he's like, I don't know, and he's like really scared, and he's like, oh shit, my boss has found out I'm communicating with this light worker, and this light worker that's trying to turn me to the light. And he's like, I just want to get out of it. And Delta Wing just doesn't want these experiences at all, because he knows it's a nightmare, he knows his boss is listening in, he knows he's in big trouble, so he don't want to be communicating with me at all, but he's got no choice because it's a soul contract. And so they refer to me as a dream walker because I first connected with them in dream time. And so there's this rule, as I understand in astral, when you're connecting fourth density positive to fourth density negative, according to their rules, according to the fourth density negative rules, that they have to like respect our free will and not, they can't manipulate us and threaten us too much and like threaten to kill us because there's certain rules they have to abide by. Unless, as I understand it, you're a dream walker, and I was what was called as a dream walker, and they hate dream walkers because they can't control dream walkers, people that connect in with them in dream time, because they have no control over it. So they hate dream walkers. So it's almost like me being a dream walker, all the rules go out the window and they can do anything, they can kill me, whatever. So this was the case. And so that's the background. So Delta Wing, I'm talking to Delta Wing and his boss, the next level up in the astral. And this is an astral in meditation connection I'm talking about now, not dream time. And his boss is getting pissed off and he's like, Delta Wing, why are you talking to this scum of the earth? And Delta Wing's like, I don't know, I can't help it. And he's like, so I see that I'm speaking to his boss, so I decide to start try and turn them to the light. So I start chatting to his boss and start talking to his boss, and his boss, I sense I can turn his boss to the light. I sense there's still a chance to turn his boss to the light. So I start communicating with his boss and trying to turn him to the light. And there's a chance, but as soon as I start trying to turn the boss to the light, his boss can hear him, because this is the way it works. As soon as you start talking to one guy, his boss is aware of what's going on. It seems like a law of 4D negative or the astral plane or whatever's going on. So I see his boss come in, and like this boss is like really high up in the Illuminati, high up in the secret space program, and he's quite ill and he's quite old. And so I start communicating this to this guy, and I actually turned this guy to the light by killing him. So this is what happened in astral. I don't know if this is, I apologize for killing someone, but it was like his only way this guy could be turned to the light. It's like he was too late. He wanted to turn to the light, and he understood that his only way to turn to the light was to die, because he was too deeply embroiled in the secret space program, the dark side. So he chose to die to move on to the light. He was in poor health. He was smoking cigars and all this stuff, and he was like old. So it was his choice. I killed him out of his choice. He wanted me to kill him and turn him to the light. This is what happened in astral. I apologize if this wasn't at the highest, but this is what happened. So I killed this guy and turned him to the light in astral, and he was very happy. And sorry, I thought there might be some people coming. This is quite bizarre for regular people. So at this point, his boss comes in, which I believe was like some sort of demon or like non-physical entity, I think. Or was there another boss? But at some point, anyway, I keep going up the hierarchy, and because I've killed this guy, like his boss is super pissed off because I've turned into the light. So all of a sudden, like this demonic like boss comes in, and I keep going up the hierarchies like this, trying to turn into the light. But I get to the point at some point where I actually connect to like this lizard demon who just like lives in hell. I visualized this like this lizard being in front of a cave with fire, and he's just sat there, and he's feeding off he feeds off like negative energy. He feeds off fear and greed and lust, and like there's no chance of converting this guy, because he's like sorry, people walking past. So he guy's like so this guy is like a pure demon, and I can't convert him. So I realise that there's no chance, because this guy just loves feeding off fear and human greed and lust, and he's just like sucking it all up. And this is like a demon, so I just give up on this guy and move on. And so this is how it all started. And also in these astral, so there might be a part 2 to this, because I think I can only do 10 minutes in this high res on my phone. So we get up to this level, and also at this time I start connecting in with Ra, the being Ra Tier, Ra, and some a hybrid species of the like similar to the Sasani and the Yael, but they weren't. They were new hybrid species, and I'll talk about them in the next segment of this video. So, have a wonderful day, guys. Shivai.